I duck, I grab him, choke him out. Her baby daddy on top of my head hit me. At this time, because we on the couch now. So I grab him, choking him out. And I took him down to the couch. I got one hand holding him, my other hand, I swear to God, keeping me from crushing her kids. Her babies were up under us on this couch. If it wasn't for, I would have crushed him. I'm not saying it would have died or nothing, but this hand is keeping me up from us landing on him. But I'm choking him out. He can't let go. He's begging for his life. Begging for it. Dude still hit me on my head. I said, hey. A lot of pain, a lot of trauma, a lot of things social media don't see.
Yeah.
You know, spent 4 years of my life in the state's custody. From 12 to 16, I was in state's custody. Was in about 12, 13 facilities within that 4-year period. From detention to Nevada, Missouri, to St. Louis, to Hilltop. I've been everywhere. Group homes, you name it. 12 to 16.
You said how many facilities?
About 12 to 13 facilities.
Why'd you keep, what was you doing in there? What's some of the shit you was doing in there? Like,
only thing that I was doing was fighting. That's it. And when you were a kid, they want to try to medicate you and diagnose you with all these issues, trying to understand, why are you this violent kid? Why do you keep acting out? Why do you keep wanting to fight to express yourself?
Yeah.
So, of course, you know, they put me on Ritalin and some other medicine, and, you know, that stuff is temporary solutions. It's not getting to the root of the problem, which is growing up without parents.
Yeah.
You know, mom's never been there. Dad died when I just got locked up. He died the very next year, I believe. I was like 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
So not having parents, I don't think society understands that creates a lot of trauma for a child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the only person I ever had was my sister, which later on in life, she got killed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You had I remember you saying you had an alcoholic dad too.
Yeah.
Like when he used to put his hands on your mom and stuff?
Nah, they never was together when I was a child. So I don't know what their relationship ever consisted of. I didn't come from a household of love, or I don't have any memories of my mom ever telling me that she loved me. Mm-hmm. None, like literally none. So their relationship was basically over by the time I was able to understand life.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they did, but as far as he was an alcoholic, she was a dope head. You know, so both of them had their issues that they were battling. And my dad ended up dying over throat cancer because of his alcohol abuse. And it's crazy because, you know, I don't smoke or drink. And a lot of people that know my story probably think it's because of that, but it's really not. I just don't like the taste of alcohol.
Right.
You know, never been high in my life, never been drunk in my life.
Mm. With you doing all this fighting and shit, and you going through what you're going through with your family. This is before I'm talking before the passing of your sister and stuff. And you say you don't lean on drinking or smoking or nothing. So what you leaned on was fighting, but outside of the fighting, what is there?
Nothing.
How do you stay grounded? How do you even make friends with all the fighting you doing?
I mean, back when I was younger, so I wasn't a fighter that just went pick fights. I was one of those people that if you get me there, then we're going to fight. I was never that, oh, I don't like this guy, I'm going to go punch him. That wasn't me.
Yeah.
But I was that guy that was quiet, cool, funny. And then as soon as you push that button and you didn't leave me alone, that's when it got bad.
Yeah.
And, you know, even beat up my DFS worker, you know, because I don't think they knew I could understand what they were saying in this courtroom. The court was downtown, family court, down where detention is on 27th Street. And they told me, well, they told the judge, I don't think he's ready to go home, but not in those words, in a much fancier way. And I understood that shit. So I slapped my DFS worker. And then, of course, they sent me to the mental hospital, which was Baptist at the time.
Oh, you slapped him right then and there?
In the courtroom.
Oh. You didn't have anybody there to support you at these court cases?
Not at all. Well, I take that back. Okay. There's two ways to look at support with me. If you have a family that loves you, to me, they gonna come get you out of the situation. They gonna say, I got him. This is my niece. This is my nephew, my grandson. I got him. Judge, let me get him. I had my auntie, who has since passed away, and her daughter, my cousin. Those are who raised me. They're the ones who tried their best with me, but at the same time, I was too much of a handful for them. And that's on my daddy's side. Mama's side, I got 13 uncles and aunties, and none of them ever came to the courts to say, this is my nephew. Let me help him out. Not one time. So when you say support,
yeah,
in a way, yes, but in a bigger way, no. Because I wouldn't let my family go through that system like that. If I had a family member right now that's a child that I could help out, I'm going to go get my nephew, my niece, my cousin out of that system and help them the best way I can, instead of letting them go down that road, because it ain't pretty.
You being, because you mentioned you not being it was hard to handle you or whatever.
Yeah.
And for two women to try to...
they had men. My auntie was married. She had a husband. You know, he got me together, but he did it in a way that growing up, we think it's okay until you actually have children. Then you realize the shit that you went through was also wrong. Getting beat with wood and shit, you know what I mean? That shit's wrong. You know, as a kid, you don't realize it. But yeah, once you grow up, I don't do that shit to my kids. You know, everything that I was going through as a child, the way that I was loved, I did a complete opposite with my son. And I had to learn through my son that it was wrong. So that way when it gets to my daughter, okay, I'm much better. You know, don't get me wrong, I beat up my son. He's a boy. As fathers, when you have a boy, we're a little bit more aggressive than we are with our daughters. Yeah. So yeah, I chastise them, I whoop them. But beat them, nah, I won't do that.
Yeah, but you had a rough upbringing.
Rough.
So, damn, I didn't want to go there, but since we're here, balancing that with raising your son, though, how do you get to the point where do you allow him to cry? Do you allow him to?
Yeah, I tell my son every single time I see him, I love him. Yeah. You know, because of growing up, I didn't have that. You know, I hug my son. You know how many fathers don't hug their children? Don't tell them they love them. I hug my son. I tell my son I love him all the time, especially my son, because he's a young black man. You know, of course I do it with my daughter, but I want to make sure my son knows, because as we grow up, we have those conversations later on with our pops and say, man, I don't remember you hugging me. I don't remember you saying I love you. Yeah. My son can't say that. Yeah. You know, my daddy was on the 50s, 58th and Chestnut. My mom was 51st in Euclid. So I'm all the way 50s either way. My son has never, ever been involved in that life. I kept him away from that. While other fathers want to glorify and put their children through that and let them throw up gangs, I don't do all that. I don't do that. You know, my son, he was born and raised in Raytown. He graduated from Raytown South. You know, not saying there's no gangsters in Raytown or Raytown South. Yeah. But no, that life that we lived, that we went through, it's way different in Raytown, you know. And I never wanted my son to experience that, or my daughter for the most part.
Going back to where'd you find love at, though? Because, you know, I remember you saying you wasn't a gangster, but you were in the streets, though.
Never a gangster.
So when you got to the streets, did you think you were finding love at that time in the streets, or and because we all want to be loved, bro. Yeah. We may not know it, we may not know when we're going through it, but we want to be loved, and somehow we start to attach to things that we weren't getting that we wanted, and we think we found that in the streets. Because as soon as somebody said you never heard I love you.
Yeah. From my mom and my dad. Now, from my auntie and my cousin, they told me. They took good care of me for the most part. You know, I give them good credit for making me the man I am today. But my friends, they weren't street guys. You know, they were college, high school graduates, some college graduates, some of them born and raised in the 50s as well. Some 12th Street. Like, I have friends all over. Yeah. So my streets came from my family, my cousins, my uncles. I didn't run the streets, never sold dope, never got out, did none of that shit, shootings. I ain't do none of that, you know. And I don't think people, black men especially, I don't think that they know it's okay to not have that part of your life to have that story, and you have to, make this fake story to make people believe you.
Yeah.
You don't need to. Tell your story exactly how it happened. People always wonder why I'm respected. It's because I don't ever try to be something or lie about something I'm not.
Yeah.
You'll never ever hear me say, y'all done been in shootouts and this and that. I've been shot, but I've never been in shootouts, none of that stuff. I just hung around street niggas. But when they came to do that shit, I said, I'll go home. I was very smart. I never wanted to get involved in none of that dumb shit. I knew who I was, and I was a fighter.
Yeah.
Aggressive, angry. I ain't no killer. To this day, I ain't no killer. You would have to mess with my children in order for me to kill you.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing that's going to make me want to kill somebody. Other than that, I'm a peaceful guy, have a gun for protection. I ain't out here with no enemies, none of that. And in my life, most of my enemies come from the past of fighting and shit. Not from shootouts and dumb shit. I can walk around this whole city peaceful. And I don't have to lie about it.
That's dope. Mm. Did you find yourself, with all that you went through as a kid, a lot of times you don't see what your friends and shit are going through. Like you even may look at something they're going through and think it's minute to what you're going through. It's not really nothing or whatever. Did you ever find yourself comparing your struggles to theirs? Like that ain't shit, bro.
Not really, because once I got out, July of 1996, right before I was going to start my senior year. Only reason why I got out is because when I was locked up, I was in Nevada, Missouri. And it's not Nevada, it's Nevada, Missouri. It's 2 hours from here. I was in there locked up, playing basketball, playing football, and they was, man, you too good to be up here. You really need to get yourself together. People pouring into me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do right. I literally told myself when I was 16 years old, I said, I'm about to get up out of here so I can have at least one more year of high school, full high school, to be able to play sports. Because I had been going through like Southeast here and there, but during those times, I was in a group home or I was in a residential facility that allowed you to go to schools off campus. So 1996, I get out. That's when I start really meeting my friends now. I had them before, but we couldn't really create that bond, that friendship, because I already knew I'm about to get shipped out somewhere else. I'm about to be gone. I would go to Southeast for 2 months. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri now, still in the system. So my friends, when we created that bond, they had good lives for the most part.
Yeah.
So I couldn't compare what anything they was going through, because I really didn't see struggle from them. They had moms, they had dads, families. I didn't have no immediate family besides my sister. So I could never compare something they went through, their struggles, to me, because whenever you have a parent, even just one, your life is already better than mine. Because you have that one person, that one family member, that one parent that's pouring into you, telling you they love you, taking care of you as a parent should. They brought you into this world, right?
Yes, sir.
So they should be there for you and guide you through life. I didn't have that.
That's what we feel, though, at the time. That's what we feel. Then we realize, when you get a little older, you start to realize that even people with parents, like you can have parents in your household, but they be absent from your emotion, from what you going through and all that. And they put all these, like we talk about the rich people and what they expect from their children. They have all these expectations on their children that their children just don't want. And that's when they start to go through depression and stuff, because they're not living their lives as them. Yeah, when I was younger, I used to downgrade that type of stuff. Like, you ain't going through shit. Now that I'm older, I understand, like, your capacity for struggle just might not be as... This right here, I handle greater than you can, but that don't mean I can handle what you going through greater than what you can.
They could have had struggles, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with, because of having, pressures of, say you have a parent who wants you to go to college, and maybe you don't want that for yourself.
Yeah.
So that's something our struggles is different. So I never had to compare them.
When you talk about going back to you putting time in, not really putting time, because that make it sound like I'm glorifying. That's crazy. When you were doing time or whatever, I remember you talking about fighting COs, fighting CO, and a CO correcting you and like pouring into you, as you would say. But before then, you came out the streets fighting, then you go in there fighting. Like, what how do you go in there just fighting people? You get what I'm saying? Like, what is your fight in there like? Because I've never been locked up.
So it started with me was a simple assault charge when I was 12.
Yeah.
That's how it all started at school. Simple assault charge. They said, of course, I don't think people know this, but when you go to school and you act out, you do certain things, the school keeps records of that. Well, at least they did back in our day. They report that stuff to the family services. So, for instance, if they ever come and say, we notice your child is having behavioral issues, having concerns to come to your house, and they ask what's going on, they talk to your parent, blah, 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 blah. Then they go to your school and say, because your parent may lie and say, oh, no, he's perfect. Because, no mom, dad wants their parent, wants their child to be taken away. So they'll lie. Then they go to the school, and the school would tell them, no, this is the issues we're having with him. So that's kind of what happened with me. My family tried to lie and keep me in the household. Mm-hmm. Then school said, no, he's been hitting people and acting out. He's been suspended. I was in third grade. I think I got suspended like 13 times, third grade, for acting out, just, fighting, dumb stuff, doing the absolute dumbest shit as a kid. They keep a record of all that stuff. All of it come up in court. When we went to the first one, all of it comes up. And they said, oh no, we need to evaluate him. So back then they had this center called Family Attention Center, which is right across the street from detention in the courts. Had to go there just for 30 days. Let's evaluate him. He does well, he'll go home. 30 days from a simple assault charge at school turned into 4 years because I kept doing dumb shit. Fighting, acting out, the dumbest of shit. And I tell the boys right now, I work at Hilltop, I tell them right now, get out and enjoy life. Because 30 days turned into 4 years because of me, not because of the system, because of me.
When you heard that number, what did you feel at that time? Did it register to you what was going on? You about to do 4 years up in this month, boy.
Well, no, they didn't give me 4 years. They gave me 30 days.
Oh, it turned in while you was in there. While
they wouldn't let me go.
Yeah.
I kept, So initially, it was just 30 days. And I was like, I'll knock that out.
But you went in there knocking niggas out.
When they're fighting. When they're doing dumb stuff. From the Family Attention Center, they sent me to a hospital. They was like, we need to get this boy checked out. Something's wrong with him because he has a lot of aggression in him. Good kid. When I say I'm smart. I've always made honor roll. Even when I was locked up. Going to Fairview as a freshman, I went to all the public schools. Smart. But I just had anger inside of me.
Yeah.
So 30 days turned literally, go back to court. Can he be released? Not PO. DFS worker, they call him something else now, DJO or something. But DFS worker says, no, I don't recommend him going home. Every time we go to court, I think it's like every 3 or 4 months we would go to court. Mm-hmm. No, I don't recommend him going home. So go back. Fight at a facility. Sometimes you can fight, sometimes you can't. You fight at a facility you can't, they send you somewhere else. So that's how my life went for 4 years of going to court. Nope, you can't go home. Well, this facility no longer wants him. They can't contain him. They can't control him. Who do we have that can control this boy? Detention is only temporarily because detention was more for the criminals per se, people who were doing hardcore crimes or criminal action, stuff like that. I was fighting, more behavioral, not a thug and, nothing like that. So you get to that, facility wise, like, and I don't even know Kansas City had all these facilities. You'd be like, damn, we got group homes, we got residential facilities, and your family has no say so whatsoever where you go. None. You just go. Went to St. Louis, was there for like, I want to say 8 or 9 months. The only good thing about that was they allowed me to come home every single month, state on state's dime. They'll fly me back and forth. Even in St. Louis, got into a fight there. They sent me to a hospital in St. Charles, Missouri. Still wonder what's going on with this young man. Why is he so aggressive? Why is he fighting? He's a good kid. Everybody, he's a good kid. But he's very aggressive. And the COs, as you said, pouring into me. I had one, I never forget, Had one that told me I'd be dead or in jail by my 18th birthday. I was like 14 then. He said, man, if you don't change, you're going to be dead or in jail by your 18th birthday. Every single year of life, I always go back to that. And even with me helping kids right now, I never tell them nothing like that because it's very discouraging. And I don't know if he meant that in a bad way or a good way to try to help me improve, but don't speak negativity into a child's mind because sometimes they can store it and be like, well, I ain't shit anyway. I'm supposed to be dead or in jail anyway.
Start doing more.
They start doing more. I looked at it as I'm going to prove him wrong. You know, saw him in a juke house a long time ago. He said, oh, man, what's up? You look good. You know, talking to me and everything. And I told him straight up, had a real conversation. I said, I appreciate you telling me I'll be dead or in jail, you know, by 18. And he never cleared it up. He was like, man, you know, you look good. I'm glad that you out, blah, 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 blah. Thank you. I don't hold no grudges.
How you think he meant it back then, though?
As a bad thing.
Is the way he was saying it to you? Yeah. But you know...
Because he beat me up. He beat me up after he did it.
Is that any different than, like our parents yelling something at us or telling us something crazy, but they don't mean it in a bad way and then whooping us like that? You get what I'm saying?
In a sense, but at the same time, your parents, for the most part, love you.
Yeah.
There was no love there.
Yeah.
You know, that man was coming in to do his job, get a paycheck and leave. Parents do it because they truly do want the best from you, you know, so they try to inflict, you know, scare you and prepare you for the world, sometimes in the wrong way. I'm you know, accountable for that as well with my own children.
Yeah.
But there's also a way, like the Scare Straight programs. I don't feel like those are the best things for kids, you know, because some of them, you'd be surprised. Some of them see that and be like, oh, I ain't afraid of prison. This is it. You know, you expose them to that and they like, oh, this is okay. I can go do what I want to do. This is all I got to face. You know, to me, it's not the best choice to really prepare a child and help them get ready for the world or make them choose their actions better. You know, I understand why they do it, but that's just me personally.
Did you have visuals of what locked up looked like before you were locked up?
No, never been locked up. Never seen it.
Did you hear stories about it?
Never seen it. Never heard about it.
So when you got there, you know, when I was younger, I used to hear a lot of stories about being like, and I know you were in the younger part of it, but even with those, when you, I don't know if you can really compare too much what you were going through as Rikers, but the younger Rikers Island or whatever, where they talk about that in New York when you're a kid and you go there.
Yeah.
And there's already like these crews or these gangs or whatever. And you got
like detention. That's like detention.
So when you go in where you was going there, how was that like though? Like, what are like the politics of that? Because there's politics everywhere.
It wasn't the same. Like every place was a little bit different. Detention by far was the worst of all the facilities I went to. Detention was just that place where it was baby jail. You know, it was the Rikers Island of Kansas City. The other places I've been to, Hilltop, Niles Home, group homes, St. Louis, all that stuff was more residential facilities that had a little bit more
strict
freedom. Yeah, it was less strict. You know, down in Nevada, Missouri, there wasn't no gates. You could walk right outside the door. Once they take you outside, if you wanted to walk outside that gate, they'll let you. But they'll tell you, hope you know where you at. Nevada, Missouri, 97, all white. Or excuse me, 96, 95, 96, all white town. They want you to run away.
Yeah.
You know, they told us, you better know where you at. You know? So when they'll take us go to the dentist, doctor's office, stuff like that. Yeah, you see nothing from white folks. So you should know that they're saying you run away if you want, you're gonna get killed.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna get lynched or something. So yeah, detention is more that Rikers Island type feel than anything else. Everything else is more, you got detention, which is to me was the worst, Hilltop, McCune, and then the residential facilities, and then the group homes. Group homes is basically like a home setting where you can walk around, you go to public schools, you can do whatever you want in a group home. It's like you're at home, you know. Residential facility is a little bit more strict. You deal with a little bit more, you know, kids with issues, depending on, you know, behavioral concerns. It could be breaking the law a little bit more than a group home. And then you got Hilltop McCune, which is above there, which is also less than detention, but they're more for also, kids stealing cars, robbing a liquor store, something like that, where you about to go home. And then you got detention where it's like, you stay in there for a while, you done did something. You know what I mean? If they not releasing you to one of these facilities, you done did something big like murder, armed criminal actions, things like that. So different levels, I don't ever want someone to hear this story and feel like, oh, he was in detention or hardcore, baby jail for 4 years. No, it was different levels that I was in.
But you did eventually get to detention.
I was there twice.
So what you about to say something? Once you get to detention, obviously you didn't go past the 4 years.
Yeah.
What started to straighten you out right then and there to not extend on that 4 years?
Just the staff back in Nevada, Missouri, telling me that I should get out to be able to play high school sports.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it.
The mental health, the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
What's that like? Like being, do you even remember a lot of your mind?
Oh, yeah, I remember it. The hospitals was honestly some of the best time because even though you're locked up, but you're not around that element of your peers, of fighting, people testing you, hoods, none of that.
Yeah.
You there with people who got issues. They ain't not messing with you. They out watching TV, they're enjoying stuff, they not bothering you. No reason to fight in there. When I was in the hospital, I never fought. It wasn't that type of, scenario.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually cool. You got some good food.
Really?
Yeah. Well, as a kid,
right,
yeah.
You
got to do stuff, watch movies on Friday nights. Like, it was a lot of fun. But you were there to get drugged. You were there to get diagnosed with what's going on with you. And then once the hospital thing with me, hospital said, he's okay. He's just angry. He's just aggressive. He don't need to be here. So I only stayed like 2 weeks. It wasn't like a whole 6-7 months. It was only like 2 weeks to a month or so. When Baptist, which was over there on Holmes, you remember Baptist?
No.
Baptist used to be over there by McDonald's on 63rd Street, right behind McDonald's off 65th Street or whatever in Truce. They used to be called Baptist. That was a hospital. So I was there, I think maybe a month. I don't think longer than a month. And honestly, out of all the places I've been in, I would say that was probably my best because it was just, it allowed me to be calm. I didn't have people bothering me. Like I said, if you didn't bother me, I didn't pick on nobody.
Yeah.
The COs would tell you, I'll be that one to fight the bullies. You come in picking on a little kid or doing, I'm the type that take up for them. Not pick on them. Kids come in thinking they want to be tough, so they pick on the littlest guy. Nah, I ain't gonna have that.
That's different, because usually the people that went through all that you went through or whatever didn't have the love at home start to take it out on the kids.
Very true.
The
smaller ones so they can beat up on.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy that ain't what you went towards. Yeah. Did you understand those pills? Did you understand the drugs they was putting in you? I know you didn't know what they were, but were you looking at it like, I ain't taking that shit?
No, we had to take it.
Yeah.
The only thing I knew, it slowed me down.
Yeah.
That's all I knew. As soon as I take it, I'm about to be either asleep or I'm going to be slowed down. We had to take it with some liquid. Came here, it was 2 things I was taking. One was pills, one was Ritalin, and some was something else. And then, it just basically took all the energy out of me. Yeah. So that way I won't be so aggressive, won't be ready to go, but I hated it,
At those times you didn't feel like, shit, let me act a little crazy or something so I could just stay here.
Nah. I did enough.
Right.
Yeah, I did. I acted out, man. When I say I did some dumb shit, like I acted out.
Yeah.
A lot of dumb shit where they be like, what's wrong? Look, I ain't gonna bullshit you. I was in a group home one time. This little dude started talking crazy. And this, I was kid, so don't judge me. But I peed on this boy.
Okay, I wasn't thinking it was going there. Walk me through it, bro.
He was just talking crazy. And I'm in a group home. And like sometimes when in a group home, they feel like, oh, you not really about that life because they don't understand. you're trying to go home, but you still about that life. Little dude talking crazy to me and shit, you know, and I tell him, I said, bro, you don't stop talking to me, I'm gonna piss on you. I wish you would.
Wait, you didn't knock him out yet?
I never fought him. I peed on him. He didn't do shit. And he wasn't a little bitty, you know, punk dude or nothing, but he didn't do nothing.
That's wild.
Yeah,
that dude. So he went and told on you, did he?
He went and told on me.
He went and told.
And I got put out.
How old would you
I was about 13, 14. I was about 14. Yeah.
That's crazy.
He was talking stuff and
but man, you can't fight a nigga with his dick out though, bro.
I put it up.
You was about to say something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I put it up, you know, I peed on him and I stepped back and the staff dude wasn't there. I think he was outside or something. All the other boys was like, this dude just peed on him. You know, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? So imagine going to tell your DFS worker that the staff got to tell DFS worker he peed on a boy. Not just threw piss on him. No, he put his dick out and pissed on him. That's how crazy dumb shit I was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I wasn't getting out in them 30 days. That's why it took 4 years. So that was around 14. So I still had 2 more years to go because I was still doing dumb shit like that. You know, nothing there I'd be like, oh my God, yeah, I'm, you know, glorifying. I look back at it and I laugh, but at the same time I'd be like, that was wrong as fuck. You know, damn, bro, you was fucked up. You know, whole staff told me, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, if anybody know Mr. Clemens, he'll tell you, true story. Mr. Clemens, they had a group home on Tracy, 43rd and 44th and Tracy. Mr. Clemens, he'll tell you.
Yeah, don't take my laughs for glorifying this either. But I'm human and stuff be funny, bro. Yeah. What times look like getting out though? Like, what do you start to do? Do you feel yourself growing? Are you intentionally making change in your life, or is it just right back to, man, nigga, I'm out?
Nah, when I got out, I stayed out. I still fought, but it was different. You know, once I got out, people had to tell on you and shit. You know what I mean? When I went to high school, I had no issues enough through high school. Most of my fights came through basketball. You know, I was that type of nigga. That I was a respectful guy to where we could argue about basketball. We can talk shit about basketball, but don't go towards that, you bitch ass nigga. You can say I'm shitty, whatever. But as soon as you go that disrespectful route, you bitch ass nigga, whatever, that's when it becomes a problem. So you talking about, man, I fought, open it up, state line, everywhere. You know what I mean? And then, you know, ain't nobody's pressing charges. You fight, you get it over with. So I basically stayed clean. You know what I mean? Didn't have no issues whatsoever for the most part with the law, except for tickets and shit. You know what I mean? That's it. I got out, really wanted to never go back. You know, I went to county for a fight. That was it. After that, I have not been in jail at all. You know, that was my last time. You know, I was 30 years old. My daughter was just born. And that was it. You know,
those triggering words, bitch ass nigga, pussy, all that. Was it instantly like I'm swinging on you if you say it, or you don't give them like, don't call me that?
Instant. My friends will tell you that. You know, everything I say, my friends will vouch for you.
No, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, vouch for me.
Yeah,
you know,
I heard some things about you, man. Instant. That don't mean they true, but yeah. So instant. I mean, it goes along the line of what you're saying, though.
Yeah. Instant.
As far as what was you and your sister's relationship like before?
We was close. She was the only one that I cared to live for. So when she got murdered, you know, I'm thinking like, life's over.
How old was you?
20. And I never ever thought about retaliation because I had family to do that. My uncle called me and said, you want to go? And I told him no. Remember I told you I was always smart. As much anger as I had in me, I was still smart. Because if I go do some dumb shit, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever he did, the dude turned himself in. And that's that. You know, but yeah, it took away the biggest part of my life, you know, that was my world, my everything. And losing her, it affected me the rest of my life. That was my last piece of an immediate family member. So now I got to live the rest of my life with no one. Excuse me. And on top of that, she didn't just die. He shot her. She got shot 6 times. They found her. I'm at work at the musical inn, the landing. I get a call from my cousin, who I said takes care of me. Hey, have you talked to your sister? I said, no, I haven't talked to her. Well, they think that they found her in Swope Park. So I'm like, huh? So I got to close down the shop, rush to Truman, hold mine, way down there. I'm riding on Dayton's. I don't give a fuck, scraping on my tires, all that, flying. Get down there, family down there, and my cousin, who he's also dead now, he went to identify her. He went to the room to identify her and say, yeah, that's her. Fast forward 2 days later on Monday, this was on a Saturday when they found her. Fast forward to Monday, doctors came in and told us that she's not going to make it if we keep her on life support. The life support's keeping her alive. She's not going to recover on her own. And even if she did, she would be in a vegetative state of mind where she won't know us, it'd be basically worthless. So they asked what we want to do. Well, at that time, the woman who gave me birth thought she was going to make the decision. And I said, nah, I got it. And so I made the decision to take my sister off life support, and after that, I was with her to her last breath. Then I went back to work, tried to work, but I couldn't. Like, it just hit me. So my boss was like, man, you need to go home, let it sink in, deal with it, shit like that. And I kind of isolated myself because it was hard. Like, that was the biggest death I have experienced. Lost my dad, but it wasn't really like a big loss because he wasn't really there. My grandma, who was also close to me, but it was still like not as big as my blood sister. And that shit changed me. Like, I feel like it took away the emotions that I once had to where it affected relationships, probably friendships, everything. It just made me very heartless and cold.
It doesn't seem as if you're heartless and cold, though. Like, because when I've talked to you, as far as like you wanting to create a safe space for men to talk, and
that's now though. What are you talking about?
You're talking about years
when it first happened.
I didn't know if you were saying to change your life complete. You did therapy. Mm-hmm. What made you go into therapy? Because that was shunned when we was.
I had to go because I was still very aggressive and fighting and stuff, and I needed help to let go of a lot of things and come to terms with a lot of things. So that was my first dose of therapy as an adult, was back then, because of, my sister being killed, dad gone, mama gone, family gone. My stepmama, that's my cousin who raised me, she gone. Everybody around me gone. So I'm like, it's God punishing me. I went to T. Irvin's funeral, and his uncle, I believe his uncle, he had said, "Do sometimes you hate God?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because why would he give me this life? Out of all the people in this world, why would you give me this life? Then I talked to my therapist last week, and she said, why not? Why not you? Look at all the positive influence you've done, all the things you've done in your life. Why not you? And as hard as it is to accept that, because you still feel that sense of why me? That hurt, that pain that you go through. Then you look on the positive side and you say, well, yeah, because of what you've been through, because of what he took you through, you are now impacting a lot of people's lives. Just by being you, not lying, not being this character, just by being yourself,
You believe in God, but do you believe in Jesus too?
I do.
So my understanding of that, because we all get, not to say my struggle with yours or nothing like that, but we all go through things that we're like, why?
Yeah.
Why God? Are you even really there? And then, but you say, why me? And when that person says, your therapist says, why not you? I'm sure Jesus was like, why? Out of all the people in the world, I'm your son. Yeah. And I got to go through this. So knowing that I I have my own cross to carry, and I'm built for that. It keeps me sane in whatever I'm going through.
Oh yeah.
But you definitely are like, come on, cuz, like,
yeah. It takes you through that, man. I'm telling you, because a lot of people, and they say it all the time about me. Why ain't you in prison or something? It's crazy. They tell me that. With your story, with your background, you would think you would be in prison, and I don't disagree. The only reason why I'm not is because I was smart. I knew when to stop. I can do all the dumb shit in the world, but I knew when to stop. You know, I knew, oh no, I ain't about to do no, something that's going to literally take my freedom away. Nah, I'll play around with a couple of months. But when you talk about 15, 20, oh no, that's why I don't play with no drugs.
Yeah.
I don't know. That ain't in me. When they giving out 10-year sentences and shit, there's people that know. No, that's not what I'm about. Not because I'm a punk. I just don't want to go sit down for 10 years.
Yeah.
And if more of us thought that way, instead of going down that road because they see the life, they see the money, but they don't realize there's consequences behind that. And if they really thought about that and say, hey, I'm not built for prison, they'll go to work. I go to work in a heartbeat, put on my shirt and tie in a heartbeat. Because if you ask me, I lived a better life than some of these drug dealers.
Nah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah. Would with after your sister lost her life, did you get shot after that or before?
It was before. Yeah, I was still a teenager. It was an accident. They was shooting at.
You was with the homies and they just
drive by and I got hit on my arm. But
accidental shooting.
Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't nothing super bad that sent you.
Nah, it wasn't for me.
Did you look at it like a war wound?
I mean, because it wasn't, like I said, I wasn't in shit like that. So I know it wasn't for me. I was just with the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even know I was shot. I looked at my arm. I mean, I didn't even feel it. Someone else said, man, look at your arm, man. So, and I said, oh, shit.
That's crazy.
Meat hanging all out of it. Yeah, so.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That was something to celebrate when we were younger, though.
It was. A lot of people were like, yeah, I got hit. Yeah.
Especially
a lot of people don't even know I got shot. It's so crazy because I actually tell people I got cut with a window, glass breaking. If I got shot.
Why?
It's nothing to glorify me. I don't want to glorify that.
Yeah.
You know, so other people, oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you now. I lied and told them I got hit with a window, you know.
Because you feel like they'll take, well, were you just talking about when you talk to youth or when you're talking to older people too?
Back then, it was just anybody. I never told nobody I got shot for real.
Yeah.
You know, I used to always say it was, I got cut in the window.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't want that type of, I don't know, just sometimes I think people use that to kind of build up who they are. And I didn't want that to seem like, oh, yeah, he done got shot. Nah, that ain't me. Because it wasn't for me. It'd be different if the bullet was for me. Then I'm just like, yeah, niggas tried to kill me, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
You know, accidental shooting. I was in the wrong place, wrong time.
Do you find times is still as rough as they were when you were a kid, though? Like, it may not be the same thing.
It's rougher.
It's
rougher.
And people wouldn't even know that. They just look at you online. What that look like?
Oh, you meant with me or with kids nowadays?
No, I mean with Ray. Yeah.
No, it's easier now with me.
It's easier.
Yeah, it's way easier now. The adult Ray is way better than the kid Ray.
Well, I'm not talking about you personally. I'm talking about the battles you have to go through. Even like,
it was rougher then.
Yeah, okay. Because even putting like award shows together, even like trying to save the youth, like stop the violence and all of that stuff
I can deal with that. Nah, like as a child, man, I'm telling you, we gotta love our kids because they carry so much into their life because of us. And a lot of my trauma, a lot of my pain came from my parents.
Yeah.
You know, not knowing how to love a woman because I didn't have a mom to show me that. I didn't have a dad to show me that. So I'm growing up doing things my way based on what my cousins was showing me, which were wolves. You know, them niggas didn't care. Give me 12 years old, give me a bottle of OE and say, drink this. I'm like, damn, you know, bad. So now, adult life, these people I can deal with, because I can tune them out. And I always I tell people this, I have in my mind that if I really wanted to snap, I'll whoop you. But I'm being calm because I'm not don't want to be that person no
Yes,
more.
sir.
So that allows me to cut that light off. I ain't got to deal with y'all. Then I had to deal with it. There's no escaping that. But y'all, I'll whoop y'all. You know, I'm telling you.
Can you detail because you talk about your people being wolves and stuff.
Yeah.
And that even goes into being wolves with girls and shit like that too.
Straight wolves.
Can you detail the story about you, the girl's baby daddy walking in on you and you getting jumped?
Oh, yeah. I told you that? Man, you know about that. You know a whole lot. It was, you know what? I don't even understand why he was mad because we never had no words ever. It was never you bitch ass nigga or me talking shit to him.
Wait. You don't understand why he was mad?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Y'all wasn't together.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
It'd be different. She was cheating.
There it is.
No, it's just your baby mama.
Okay.
And it'd be one thing if me and him had words.
Mm-hmm.
We never had words. You were just more upset because I'm tagging your baby mama. So yeah, I'm chilling, just like chilling in the seat, watching TV. She over there, kids on the couch, because I had been around her for a long time. So kids, you know, was comfortable and like some girl I was just banging. Like I've been around her kids and all that. We all just chilling. Her brother was there as well. And door just opens up. I look up and it's him with, I want to say 3 other dudes.
You already knew who he was, though. You had seen a picture of him.
Yep, I seen him before. I don't get up. He comes in, he immediately starts talking to her. Why you got this nigga around my kids? Blah, 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 blah. I stay in my seat. Because I didn't fear none of the niggas at that door. The girls tell you, her brother, I stayed in my seat. I didn't get up until he pointed at me and he said, that bitch ass nigga. That's when I stood up. And I went and I put my back up against the wall so nobody can get behind me. They didn't know I was doing that. Went and put my back against the wall. His slow ass friend, fat fuck friend, tried to come and swing on me. Fat, slow ass swing. He missed me. I duck. I grab him. Choke him out. Her baby daddy on top of my head hit me. At this time, because we on the couch now. So I grab him, choking him out. I took him down to the couch. I got one hand holding him, my other hand, I swear to God, keeping me from crushing her kids. Her babies were up under us on this couch. If it wasn't for, I would have crushed him. I'm not saying would have died in them, but this hand is keeping me up from us landing on him. But I'm choking him out. He can't let go. He's begging for his life. Begging for it. Dude still hit me on my head. I said, hey, I ain't letting them go till you stop. I can take them. He finally stopped. I let them go. They walked out. Nothing else happened. I had one knot on my head from that. You know.
How'd you continue with her after that? Did you?
I still hit it. Yeah. Would you? I mean, you thought that was gonna scare me? You know?
It's not that I thought it was gonna scare you, but like, nah, I ain't got time to deal with this shit no more. If this what it's gonna be,
still hit it.
Was it out of?
Yep.
You already knew
just to show him nothing y'all doing is gonna stop. I'm gonna hit it even worse now, you know, because of that dumb shit you pulled, you know. And I'll be like, why? You know, we didn't have beef.
Yeah.
You know,
he still wanted her.
Yeah, that's all it was. Say you want your family back. I'd have gave her back.
No, you wouldn't.
I would have gave her back because we wasn't rocking like that. We were just cool doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, he could have. And she's a cool girl. She's my friend. You know, so it's no disrespect to her, but we wasn't in a relationship to where I was really a threat. Do right. Get your family back. That's all you have to do. Do right. You know, because in the midst they had a baby. In the midst of us messing around, they had another baby, and I still wouldn't hit it.
So I'm trying to be straight. Hey, even with y'all, after y'all fought, right? You would have still gave her back, even if he'd have said, "Bro, I'm sorry. I just want my family back." You understand? You would have gave her back
because I had 3 kids at that time.
Yeah,
get your family back, bro. But we didn't have to do that.
Yeah,
you know,
that's cool.
You think you got your rocks off because you hit me in the back of my head? Nah, I ate that shit. But your boy almost lost his life, you know? True story, like I said. Yeah. Everyone to verify. I don't lie.
You know? Take it for what you say.
Yeah.
What's your relationship with Because I mean, most people would probably say, he's an asshole. He as far as women, I could never be with a nigga like that.
Straight asshole.
What you looking like now? Because you said you were tough on the women back then. Like, what is your relationship now with women? Are you understanding them more? Or you?
Yeah. So I'm way better, man. I'm way better. You know, and one thing that I always pride myself on is I never wanted my son to be like me and treat women the way that I did. I always told him, treat women good. You know, don't look at my life. Don't look at. I never took my son around shit I was doing. You know, because I was a hoe. You know, so I didn't want my son to stop looking at me like that.
What?
Oh, you give me this dead stare. But
my bad.
You know how some fathers involve their kids in things that they do. I've always kept my kids away from shit that I did. And I'm glad that I did because my son really respects women. Okay. You know, but me growing up, I did not. Now, I'm very more respectful, you know, very more respectful. I've done a lot of work on myself, you know, identifying issues that I was dealing with, you know, speaking to God, speaking with therapists, all that. I did a lot of work on myself because there are men like you who make relationships look good, make marriage look good. You know, I have a lot of good, positive role models when it comes to relationships. You know how you go on social media and you see, oh, I don't want to be with nobody in relationships this day is this and this and that.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way because I have a lot of good role model men who are married or in relationships that even if y'all have problems, we probably never even know about it. Y'all handle it within and y'all still show that love.
Yeah.
You know, today's world, they want everybody to know when shit hit rock bottom and all. You know, I really surrounded myself with positive people that help me change my mindset.
But I mean, I get what you're saying as far as the showing like all that bullshit and stuff, but shouldn't it be like some of it out there so people don't know, so people know you can still work through the bullshit even when that happens? I guess it depends on how you promote it.
Good point. So my relationship now, I'm in a relationship now with a girl, right? And
a woman?
With a woman, yeah, whatever, same thing.
Are you a boy?
Yeah, she can call me a boy. She can. You know.
See, yeah, get out of here. Go ahead. Sorry.
But with her, I started off private because it's how I live my life, private. I didn't want society to know anything that was going on in my private life because it's brutal out here. Social media is brutal.
Yes.
So I kept us private. To now, you know, and it was something that she said, you know, something she told me and how she didn't like it, whatever. And I'm just like, well, you can do things my way or whatever, you know, didn't care. As I'm mature and I grew, I understood why it's important to her to love her publicly. You know what I mean? Versus when I was younger with other people, I didn't care. It was my way. Say whatever you want. So with social media being involved, it allows us to share our testimony of our downs and our ups. And the true supporters are really rooting for us. You know what I mean? I get people inboxing me, text me all the time. I hope y'all make it. I'm praying for y'all, blah, blah, blah. And it's mainly because they knew how I was. You know, they want her to be happy as well. I want her to be happy. But it was mainly because they already knew I ain't posting nobody on my page.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm out here moving foul. Nah. And it was more so to protect my girl at the time. Wasn't because I just didn't really want to, but it was more protection of her. You moving foul, don't put your girl out there for people to laugh at her and, you know, inbox her and do all that shit. And I tried my best to protect her, but if I really wanted to protect her, I wouldn't have been doing dumb shit, you know what I mean? And so that's what I'm on now, is being a better man to my girl now.
What did she do to make, because you done been through a million women.
Hey,
Relax. It ain't no I'm exaggerating. Or maybe.
Relax.
You've been through lots of women. You was a hoe or whatever. how does this one get right to where like he want to do right? And you're not obviously not perfect, but you still building. You know what I'm saying? So how did she love on Ray?
I don't think the love was any different because I've always felt I had real good women in my life. I just was not ready to receive the love that was given to me. So that's the biggest part, is I'm ready now. I want to be different. She was my inspiration to change, to be a different man, to be better, but it was more me. So even if we didn't work out, somebody else coming in line next is going to get a great man, because I'm doing this for myself, not doing it for her. Yet she's still that inspiration. You know, I'm not changing.
That's hard.
Yeah, I'm not changing to be who she want me to be. I'm changing who I need to be, who, you know, the person I need to be for God.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
So that's the beautiful part about us. We could break up today and give me 6 months. That next girl's still going to get a good man. I'm not going to go back to the streets and being what I was before. Ain't nothing out there. I don't want to be 50, 60, 70 years old, not having someone to come home to, rub my head, you know, take care of me when I'm sick, kids coming home. I don't want to be that. I had fun when I was supposed to. Now it's time to be that different man.
Yeah.
You know, God is really showing me who I should be. And people told me, you know, a long time ago, man, God is going to change your life. And I said, man, get out of here with all that. You know, you're going to walk into that path that God wants you to be. And I'm like, I ain't trying to hear all that. So, you know, my attitude, I ain't trying to hear all that. Now I understand. My own pastor told me 5 years ago that he's prayed for me since 5 years ago, that God will change my vision and show me who I'm supposed to be. And now look at it. You know?
The women that you dealt with, do they know you felt that way about them? Like they were great women. You were just fucked up.
They didn't know at the time.
But they know that now.
Yeah.
That's dope. Because if they don't know that, they start to feel like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when they're so into a dude that they're pouring into, and they feel like, so they start to feel like what, and I know you're heavy on trying to save the men or whatever, but our women need saving too, because that support you get from them
is everything.
Is everything.
Yeah. And that's why I say I can't look back and hold my head down because I treated women bad. At least I'm accountable. Yeah. And I can say, nah, seriously, it wasn't you. It was me.
Yeah.
You did everything in your power to treat me good, love me good. I wasn't ready though. That's what it is with a lot of us men. We change when we want to. It ain't necessarily the woman. It's when we want to.
Yeah.
A woman can be our inspiration, but we change when we want to. And that's what it was. Because even when I was with my kid's mom, I went to church, but I wasn't committed. I was still going to Chiefs games every Sunday, missing a lot of stuff, putting everything before God. Yeah, he still loved me. So 16 years being a Chiefs season ticket holder.
Yeah.
I gave it up to give my commitment to God. And I'm not saying I'll never go to games.
Yeah.
But my focus on Sundays is walking in God's. Yeah. God first.
That's every day though?
Every day.
God first.
I pray every night now. I didn't pray before, except for food. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
You pray throughout the day.
I pray throughout the day. You know.
In closing, sorry, got the burps. If you don't mind giving us some dope words, you know what I'm saying? Like some words for the youth, words for people, period, just to close us out.
I would just say, you know, never underestimate the power you have to take your life in a different direction.
Yeah.
That's something I live by. Never underestimate the power that you have to take your life in a different direction. A lot of black men struggle with that. They hit me up and they say, man, it's dope what you're doing. I wish I could do that. You can. You just have to stop playing games. You don't even have to go the God route if you don't want to. Everybody's not ready for that. You know, I don't want to force that on you. But if you want to change and be a different person, you can. It's all about you. Not social media. Yeah, it's all about you. You know, I took a journey in December of self-care, self-love. People don't understand that. I really took a journey and said, hey, I want to be a better person. I didn't just post about it all. People didn't hear about this until March, 3 months later. But in December, my birthday, I decided that I wanted to be a different person in life. I wanted to be a better father, wanted to be a better individual. I wanted to be a better man in my relationship. But in order to do all that, I had to clean myself up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you don't hear Ray the Jerk no more. You hear Terrell Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was one image that I wanted to maintain for the public to see and keep me as this guy. No, I can still be funny. I can still talk shit.
Yeah.
But I'm no longer want to be that guy where you be like, oh my God, he's an asshole. He's a jerk. No. Did a lot of damage with that name.
Yeah.
You know. So very grateful, very, proud of the man that I am today, to where people may not recognize me. And that's okay. People may not want to be a part of my life. That's okay. Because God is replacing them with positive support system. And you lose people, People, they don't understand. When you change, you'll lose a lot of people because they want you to be a certain way. They are selfish. When you decide to make that change, you're going to realize, people going to turn on you.
Yeah.
They're going to call you fake. Call you all things in the book except for, oh, he just wants to be better. It's okay when you do it. It's a problem when I do it. Fuck them.
Hey, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the time. I'm grateful that God gave me the time to exist in this space with you, because I could say you have impacted my life as much as the city.
Yeah.
Do you be on bullshit sometimes?
Definitely.
I'm on bullshit sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that. But I'm grateful for you. I love you. The goal is to leave a lasting imprint on their minds and their hearts. We pray you've been indelibly marked.